this is in 04, 05. And we were in Tikrit. We were rolling through Tikrit and got ambushed, of course. And I remember guys was running out behind chicks or just running with a kid. And what they would do is running with the kid, post up somewhere, and then start shooting out at us while we're out in the streets, man. It was like, you got to be kidding me. And we had the same thing happen in Afghanistan too, man. How
did you guys respond?
Well, first time when the guys were running off, we never shot guys in the back. That we didn't do. But when it first started happening and guys started seeing it, we didn't notice it the first couple of times. It was like 2 or 3 times before you noticed, like, hey, dude, that guy, they're running back getting kids or whatever. They're using human shields. So the first thing we do is report that up. Like, hey, what are we doing in this situation? You know, of course, it was all fire. You know, you want to take well-aimed shots. You don't want to shoot a hostage. You don't want to shoot an innocent, you know, combatant. But then at the same time, man, it's getting to the point where, dude, they were smart, man. They would get at the corner of the building, put a chick in the doorway, and just spray and pray out the doorway, dude. And what I would tell my guys, if he's spraying and praying out the doorway, she's in the doorway, you light the right side or the left side of that fucking doorway, you light it up.
Did you guys ever have any instances where there was collateral damage from doing that?
Yeah, we had a couple.
Yeah,
we had a couple like where there's collateral damage where luckily we had birds overhead, so they had our footage of person in the doorway, gun going off, and we had a phenomenal jag at the time, dude. And he kind of threw it out, and what saved us was kid just got hit with a piece of shrapnel that came off the tin, cut his stomach. He was fine. I mediced up, patching him up. He was fine. But yeah, dude, we didn't ever get any like, oh, you're going to jail or anything like that. But luckily, we had feed too. We had predator feed overhead, so everything is caught on camera. You see the bodies, man. Plain as day when that gun goes off, you see the body in the doorway, you know, and they use infrared. So we were pretty good with that.
Was that something for you that you ever struggled with?
Well, yeah, I did. And I can tell you the date, actually the same date, September 23rd, 2004, when Dave got blown up, or 4 days prior to that, actually. We got in a firefight, me and Steve Cook. And me, Steve Cook, TJ, the kid I got my nickname from, we was chasing these dudes down. We got hit in the wadi. We was chasing these guys in the wadi. And I popped up, and I was a point guy, and I shot this dude. It hit him literally right in the back of the head, dude. When I say in the back of the head, he was running with a PKN, and when it hit him, his foot went up in there and he went straight back. I remember Steve goes, is that a shovel he's carrying? I was like, no, Steve, because I pride myself on vision. I've always had great vision. I said, it's a gun. So we finally make our way down into him, and the guy's probably 80, 90 yards maybe. We'll make our way down into him to the top of the wadi, because we popped out on the ledge like this. Steve was coming up, TJ was coming up, and I just went, they was just turning, dude. I shot him right at the turn. And Steve was like, holy shit, Johnny, was that a shovel? I was like, no, it was a PKM, trust me. I didn't say PKM, I said, no, it was a weapon. Because he's running with it like this. And I was like, first off, why is he fucking running? I was like, and in my brain, I'm going up there. And you know how you second guess yourself, like, did I actually see what I thought I saw? So I'm trying to replay it. And dude, that's the longest 100 yards I've ever ran in my life.
Yeah.
Because I'm playing and I'm like, God, that better not have been a fucking shovel. I know that wasn't a shovel. Because I know what I saw. I saw the bus, I saw the gun. And we got up there, dude. As I got closer, within 20 yards, I saw the gun. I was like, thank God. So we ended up killing those other 2 dudes that was with him. We came back, we was back clean. One guy had batteries in his pocket, wires, a little bit of money. So we confiscated all that, got pictures. And we got back to the first guy that we had shot, or the first guy I had shot. I remember I took TJ was getting a picture of him. I remember I looked at him, dude, and it hit home. Because when I was clearing him, he had a picture in his pocket. It was just an old, like, Polaroid. Remember you take this gun and it comes out, you fan it? It was one of those. And this guy looked like he might have been 24, 25, but that's Afghan years, so he might have been 50. But he had a girl, a little girl that was probably 2 or 3 years old, I'm assuming, and a woman, and him. So I assumed wife, daughter, or sister, daughter, whatever. But I assumed the little girl was his daughter or sister. And I remember, dude, it didn't affect me then. It didn't affect me no longer. Like when we be at my daughter's birthday party or something like that, dude, and I'm looking, I'm like, fuck. And even right now, dude, I can see that guy's, I can see his face as clear as I'm looking at yours. Because I know, like, and to me, I remember once I started getting ready to retire, I was sharing it with the shrink one day, and he goes, how do you deal with it? I go, sometimes it hurts, sometimes it don't. I go, he was fighting for what he thought was right. I was fighting for what I thought was right. But I'm still human. And to this day, man, I hear my young guys used to always say, I'm just ready to go shoot somebody in the face. And I would always tell them, as I got older, hey, careful what you wish for, dude. What do you mean, Johnny? I'm like, careful what you wish for, dude. I go, that's a human being that you're, even though he's a combatant, even though you're fighting him, he's still a human.
Yeah, I mean, the reality of it is, you know, if that happened here, you and I would be the guys running around with masks, blowing people
wide
up,
open, dude.
Them, you know,
and
so.
because we be trying to protect our families, and that's what I try to get people to realize that war is not pretty.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then I used to tell my guys all the time, I say, hey, man, I don't sit around now talking about, I wish I can go kill more people. I go, don't, it doesn't, no, and I'm going to be a hypocrite because I remember my first 3 or 4 deployments, dude, when you're invincible, nobody's getting killed. Yeah. You're like, hey, let's go get it. I'm ready to go get it on. You know, this time I'll be, you know, hey, I got a higher body count, everybody on the team. I'm going to get higher this time. But then you start getting older, you start realizing, like, look, dude, it ain't a video game no more. It's those are human lives. You mean, just like when I hunt, dude. I hunt 8 different states. Every time I shoot an animal, dude, it's something in me like, fuck, dude. But I know I'm gonna eat every part of that fucking animal too. So I know that animal's going home with me to be harvested, to be eaten. But then, like you said, they're fighting for the same shit we would be fighting for. So, you know, I look at that and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, sometimes it touches home, man. Like, I can be dry, even reliving it, talking about it now. I know tonight I'll think about it. You know, just like, fuck, dude. Like.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you think about it like as objectively as you can. And I mean, imagine China decides that this whole Judeo-Christian based democracy thing isn't panning out for our interests, and so we're going to come to the United States and throw that over and install a Buddhist-based communist government. You know, like
we'd be out there getting it.
We'd be out there fucking them up.
You damn right, bro. I have every gun I got. Let's get hot.
Yeah, you know. So
and then they would be looking at us like we look at them.
Yeah.
Like this motherfucker.
Yeah, these fucking animals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then, like I tell people that, and I don't know, dude. It's almost like with conflict in general. It's like, what do you? It's like I look back at it now, and people are like, "Hey, would you change it?" I go, "Fuck no, I wouldn't change it." I go because, like what you just said, I don't want that. I don't want that fight on our soil, dude. Yeah. You mean I don't?
Yeah, it's a tough. I agree. Like the older you get, and having kids makes you think different, and just throughout the course of your life. But I am curious, and we'll get into the subsequent deployments. But since you brought up it kind of in that way, that question of, you know, was it worth it? I'm curious what was going through your mind, and how did you react to the Afghan pullout? I was so much time there.
Yeah, a little bit of both, dude. Like I think all combat time, if you add up every combat deployment I went on, it's like 5+ years of combat deployment. Like that's head not on pillow at home, you know what I mean? But that's not including training. So in a way, I was a little pissed off because I'm like, why do we fight in a foothold and gain a foothold? My whole career, as we've been taught, you get in the door, we get a foothold. We mark that, that's the aid station. We hold on to that. We own this piece of real estate. Why are we giving that back? You mean if nothing else, dude, we can set up different. You can send infantry units over there and be like, hey, you might not patrol every day because of IEDs, but we're gonna hold this ground. Yeah. You know, you go back to any war we ever fought. The biggest thing was holding ground, holding ground, holding ground. And us to give that ground up, it does bother me a little bit because the way I look at it, your kids' kids and my kids' kids, they'll be back in Afghanistan 40, 50 years from now. One, because I think God built that place to fight. It's like the mecca of fighting. Let's just go here and fight because it's perfect for fighting. So my thing is, if we can hold it strategically, why not hold it? Because from Afghanistan, let's go build a nice runway there. We can reach any country we want to reach from there. So why not? Mm-hmm. Why not own it? Why not stage and base out of it? We're already there. You know, hey, we're going to give you all this. We're going to legitimately buy this from y'all, and this is what we own.
I mean, does the fact that we left all that equipment there and pulled everybody out the way that we did, I mean...
Oh, that pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pisses me off. Because I remember going up to Bagram. This is no lie. Driving through the gate. And I told the guy to stop truck. Stop truck, stop truck. We got out, and there was a unit right next to us. They were taking LMTVs, the big trucks, and the RGs, putting ACOGs and aiming points down, putting a piece of plywood over the top and driving over and crushing them. What the hell are y'all doing? They're like, oh, we were ordered to crush this. So I went right to my commander, Mike Sullivan, if he's asking this. And I remember I just got blown up, so that's why I was going back up there to get my head checked out. And I asked him, I said, hey, sir, why are they crushing that shit down there? He's like, oh, Johnny, we're retrograding, or whatever the fuck they call it. We're retrograding, retrofit, whatever it was. And we're pulling back, and we're turning into VSOs and all that. We're doing village stability operations. That's it. I'm like, we're doing what? I'm like, why are we? He's like, I don't know. And I remember going to talk to our S1, and I told him, I was like, hey, sir, why don't they just set up an auction page where Joes can buy this stuff, you know, at a decent price? Because I don't want to go buy a $600 aiming point, but y'all can put it on that page for $100, and we can coop some of that money for something. He's like, Johnny, that ain't a bad idea, but it's too heavy to what it would cost in fuel to fly it back. It ain't worth it. And dude, I remember leaving our fire base. We left Polaris is there, all kinds of shit. Yeah. I remember leaving, dude, watching. I remember leaving and watching them pouring diesel in a gas-operated Polaris, man. I remember watching like, what the F are we doing, dude?
Like to burn it, or they were fucking it up?
They was trying to fill it up. They thought they were filling it up with diesel.
Oh, wow.
Just like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? But, you know, in their defense, when you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah. What's the last day that you were in Afghanistan?
2017. What date would it have been? It had to have been like March something. It had been in March, 2017.
Yeah. I guess looking at Afghanistan and Iraq in particular, how many deployments did you do to each of those?
I did 10 to Afghanistan and 2 to Iraq.
Man. I mean, those are staggering numbers of deployments. You know,
dude, I know guys with 12, 13, 14, not Afghanistan.
Yeah. I mean, it's just nuts.
Yeah, if I'd have stayed in, I would have been, I'd have probably been at 16, 17 by now.
Man.
Yeah.
And you did North Africa and where else?
Yeah, I've been all over Africa, dude, all over it. Yeah.
Man, as far as the Africa deployments go, were any of them actual combat operations?
We got shot at a couple times. I think it was more like, you know, you get to warlords and shit over there. Yeah. So I think it's more like initiation for somebody. You go take a couple pop shots at Americans.
Was it like the Somalia, Horn of
Africa area? Somalia area. You get a couple pop shots taken. You know what I mean? By the time you get where you thought it came from, it's already gone. So
man. So the first Iraq deployment was in 04, 05. When was the second?
We invaded it. We invaded 05. We actually were invaded. We invaded. We got home from Afghanistan. I was home 34 days.
And then went to Iraq.
Straight to Iraq, yeah.
What? So during the initial invasion?
Yep.
No shit.
During the initial invasion, yes, sir.
Yeah, man, I was there at the same time.
I remember my company commander, we was going up through Tikrit. I remember my company commander was shooting at a tank with a fucking M4.
Really?
Yeah.
So during the initial... Because the entire 1st Marine Division swept through Tikrit, and we were with them. You guys were there?
We were right in front of those guys.
No shit.
Right in front of them.
Man, we were there at the same exact time.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we left Tikrit and went up towards...
Mosul?
Yep, Mosul, and we took one of the palaces up there. We slept in that thing for a couple of days, and one of our guys got shot in the ass cheek.
Really?
You probably remember. I'm trying to remember what his name was now. Fuck. He was on a truck. He got shot from the mosque. It made it. There was that big mosque thing I made the news about.
Yeah.
They were shooting at a mosque. Hey, yeah, our guy just got shot from the fucking mosque. Like, what do you want us to do? But yeah.
Man, what a trip.
So yeah, dude, we was there around the same damn time, dude.
Yeah. Obviously, the most of your time was spent in Afghanistan.
Yeah. Yep.
Were all of the deployments pretty hot?
Yeah.
Like, were any of them kind of run of the mill and slower, like during the winter, or were they all?
I think I had 2 deployments was during the winter, but we always caught the end of the winter.
Yeah.
Just the way it worked out. That's why we missed so many fucking Christmases.
Yeah.
Because we get over there on December, January time frame, February, March, dude, we're fighting.
Yeah.
March and April, dude, we're really getting it on. In May, dude, they're bringing everything they could.
Yeah.